So I welcome you into this very precious, always here of yourself, that which reflects of myself, and that which is existing within every object you see around you. So I invite you all to take a few moments to slow down from within. And slowing down helps oneself to connect closer, to become closer, more truthful, more real, the more slowed down and quieted you are from within. So although the truth is right here, at the same time, very paradoxically, there can be some guidance and steps to enter the here and now. That which is already here, illuminated as yourself, conscious, bright. So it would be great to very consciously from within return all the energies back. Slow down this great momentum of this mind. Slowing down into the quieted state. So we can give some so-called space for this momentum to return and slow down. Maybe you're aware of some activity in your mind, some thoughts, and that's fine, it's totally okay. As long as you are aware of any thoughts which simply come and go. And coming even closer to sense your whole body. This whole body has these 5 senses. To become aware of that too. To become aware of any bodily sensations and to step back to find an inner comfort, to relax any tensions in the body and to welcome it all, because everything, every object is within your consciousness already. So all is inclusive. within this loving awareness. All is inclusive. You might be aware of certain emotions. See how we're shifting our soft focus from one object to the next object, to the other object, but still all is within your consciousness, the consciousness. Becoming aware of any form of emotion, whether a good feeling, whether a bad feeling, both are within your consciousness as well. So this loving awareness is already aware of all these objects, whether you might name it as good or whether you name it as bad. They are already within consciousness. They're already within the loving awareness itself. So how can any object that you deny or run away from or even fight, how can that be not in consciousness already? As another example, we do fight with this mind. We do resist this mind very greatly. And we fight the mind, we fight our thoughts, we fight our emotions. Yes, or maybe we want to hide or we want to run away. All these tactics of the mind. And this mind, I am sure you are already aware that it's always jumping into a past, sometimes into the present, and sometimes into the future. Yes. Can you, for a moment, reflect on this jumping of the mind from the past to the present, from the present to the future, and back and forth. But you as consciousness, you as this loving awareness is already closer than that. Is already closer than any form, any time. Because even the present, just like the past, like the future, here we are speaking of time. So how come we have identified ourselves with time, with this object, so-called time? We have merged and identified ourselves with time, while you, as your true you, sees time. It's so much closer than time. So, as a way for you to indicate that you have lost yourself, yes, losing yourself into an object, into time, this is the identification, the I thought itself is like the root cause of identity. And it is, in a way, very simple. In a way so simple, it requires no technique as such. It requires no teachings as such, because it is simply before, it is simply closer than any past, present, and future. It is simply closer. It is simply more direct. There is a directness. The directness is truth. Because truth pierces through time and even through space. So that is also another trap. Time, identification with time, and identification with spaces. And what does space create? It creates a distance. It creates some maybe form of longing or striving or wanting something. It can only be something. You see that? Because consciousness, you, is not something. It is not something. So you cannot find yourself in time. Yes, in time. Because I know that somewhere deep down there is a programming, a subconscious programming that one day in the future I will get it. One day in the future I will become enlightened. One day. You see that? Identification with time. Believing that. That is the identification. When you believe, you see, and you are beyond belief. You're beyond time, beyond belief, beyond space or spaces. So then the mind would say, well, how do I get it then? How do I get myself? How would I know myself? fully. And this is not something you get. Consciousness is not something you will ever get. You can't get it. You can't grasp your true nature. You can't hold it or grab it or say, I got it now, and claim it. So in some ways, you do have to drop everything. You do have to surrender to you, to a deeper you, to an unknown version of yourself. Because you can't get it. You can't get yourself. Yourself is already aware of itself. You can't get that. You can be that. So although it might seem to be something so advanced, but yet it's the most simple, it's the most direct. It's the most direct. Yes, being quieted helps. Being slowed down and soft within helps. And also, it's good to know that you will not find it in time. You will not find yourself in the future, because that's where we look for ourselves, in the future. Someday I will get it. Someday I will be fully happy and I will be fully liberated. And you can't get something which is already here, illuminating. So you are beyond time. Beyond the present moment. Because how can the present moment be seen right now? Where is the present moment coming from? Where is it appearing from? There's something closer than the present moment. And what about the spaces? When you feel peace, when you feel spacious, yes, when you feel, do you see there is something we are projecting upon? Yeah, I feel peace. I feel happy. I feel spacious. I feel that. See, there is distance. The distance are these spaces, and within those spaces is your consciousness. So whether it's a feeling of happiness, whether it's a feeling of sadness, ask yourself this question: who is seeing? Who is seeing this feeling? And that instantly brings you right here and now. Those bridges, those distances, they collapse. They collapse into the now. So anything you perceive, these are the projections. These are all the objects, from the most gross to the most subtle, to the most beautiful of energies. And it's all welcomed, it's all beautiful, it's all an expression of consciousness of yourself. So it is all inclusive. It is totally fine to live and be in this abundance of expression of consciousness. But the moment, the instant you focus on that object, you merge with that object, you identify with that object, you become bound by that object. But also that bound is also in consciousness too. So if you are within everything, if your true natures, if this loving awareness is existing already within every atom of all universes already, then what are you searching for? That's the question. What are you searching for? So you don't find yourself in your past, in the present, nor in the future. You don't find your true self in your thoughts or beliefs or any ideas of yourself. You don't find yourself in any spaces. You don't find yourself in any feeling. Or in any energy, although they are all included. How can it not be like that? But this is why if you touch those objects and try to search for yourself in those objects, the search continues. Because the way to know your true nature can only be revealed beyond time, beyond space, which is instant, which is instant. And to be that, yes, you have to lose yourself. This is why I love this word, although this word doesn't mean anything. Selflessness. Selflessness, which is beyond the I itself, beyond any identification, which is all the limitations, which is all the bounded identities. So the selflessness goes beyond any person, any personality, any idea. And when that happens, this loving, which is always inclusive, loving is always unconditionally in acceptance of all. There is not even a thread of judgment, a label, a name. So it's all inclusive, loving awareness. Instant, here and now. From where all object, all feelings and thoughts and energies come from. Unless, how would it be possible for you to perceive thought, feeling, emotion? How is that possible? Have you ever asked that question? How is that possible? What makes this reality to be visible, to be seen? Where is this coming from? Where's all of it coming from? Where is it appearing from? That is how instant your true nature is. And once again, why do you keep finding yourself searching somewhere else? Somewhere else. So all that you perceive, all that molds your life, your reality, all of it, whether positive, whether negative, whether a great day or a bad day, or a challenging moment or a blissful moment. It is all seen by your deepest nature. even now, if any questions are popping up with any buts, it is also seen by your deepest nature. So this is how you become truly liberated. When you abide as loving awareness. Because for you, as that makes no difference really what it sees, makes no difference, because awareness is free. Your deepest nature is free from any object. It is already free. It is not bound by any object. It does not matter for your deepest nature what is here and now. So yes, stopping any doing. That search is a doing. That wanting is a doing. And the surrender of the doing, the true letting go of striving for something. So the surrender is to yourself. You don't surrender to anyone out there. You surrender to yourself, to that, yourself. And what do you surrender? You surrender any identifications, because only that holds you bound. Only that. And it is the root cause of all suffering, So you lose yourself, you lose that which holds itself bound, with objects, with ideas, with beliefs, with any core fundamental beliefs. So you lose yourself, that which is bounded by something. And you become free. Because you, as awareness, the instant self, beyond time and space, is already here, already existing. How else would you be possible right now to see? It's not these eyes, because if you close your eyes, are you still here? If you close your eyes, are you still here? So it's not these physical eyes that we're speaking of. It's you as consciousness itself, self-seeing. And what it sees, what it feels, that's all secondary. It's not to be denied, it's not to be rejected, but it's not to be identified. So identity is the core of all separation which creates suffering. You see the eye, it's like an entity. When the eye rises, it blocks your true nature. When the eye subsides, when the eye surrenders, then consciousness itself reveals itself as yourself, no doubt. No doubt. But the eye is a barrier. It creates a sense of separation And it's also fine when the I rises, because the I will rise many, many times. It's also fine when the I rises, unless you touch it. Unless you touch it. What I mean by touching is you identifying. You see, you identify, you become bound. You become limited by that I instantly. Thus, in that instant, you create separation from your true nature. So the surrender is that of the I, is that of that entity that we have been fighting for it, sustaining it, keeping it alive. Why would we, unless experience some form of fighting with another, or judging another, or blaming another, or blaming yourself? It's the same energy. Victimizing yourself or another, or abusing another or yourself. That is the investment to that entity, to that I, to that mind, the mind, the mind. Such a big investment to that which is separate than our true nature. And that is why we experience pain, suffering, separation, because of the I, what you believe of yourself to be I. Yeah, this I is so deeply ingrained. But it's also fine if you, as awareness, as this loving awareness, is aware of the I, is aware of any identification. If you see that, if the moment you are quieted inside and this I rises, it rises from a twitch in the heart into the head, and this surge, this energy of any form, can rise, whether to fight for its right, or whether it's too hard to handle and meet, so we deny or run away from the I, which is also denying that aspect which requires a certain illumination of your consciousness. This is why all is inclusive. All is inclusive from your nature, from this loving awareness which is so alive and bright. It gives you the seeing to see every moment unfolding and happening. Every moment unfolding from your awareness. nowhere to go. And nothing to do. Nowhere to go and nothing to do. So that's when you truly stop. And see what reveals. What reveals. Nothing to grasp, because you can't grasp yourself. Your true nature is not an object. This is why it is free. This is why in your essence you are free. And this is all you will ever have. This is all you will ever have. It's right here within you. How can it not be that? can all close your eyes. And rest. Let go of any doing. You don't have to do anything to be yourself. You just have to sit quietly and stop everything. Yes, you can surrender. To stop everything. Right here is where you belong. This is where you exist. Nowhere else. Nowhere. When you surrender somewhere into nowhere, you become everywhere. You must stop. And behind you, is like a sun shining bright behind you, a bright, warm sun, warm and very subtle, very loving. Do nothing do nothing. It's like bathing in the warm, loving, bright sun. From behind your head and above the head, from behind your chest on the back side, and nothing to do. A total openness, a total relaxation, receiving this warmth, this loving warmth, surrounding you and permeating in and through your head from the back, and from the back of your chest into the heart, and into the heart on the right, slightly to the right. But you are doing nothing. You're just basking in the sun. And your whole body is melting and melting. A total sense of relaxation. And if you feel any tensions appearing within your awareness, it's okay. Let it be. Soften yourself further, melting away. One bright sun. Here is where we meet as one. which exists. This is your eternal self. Untouchable, unbreakable, unchangeable. Ungraspable, and allow this loving warmth surrounding and permeating into every atom. Completing very gently this transmission.